Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would steer a little bit away from body mods and tattoos and such and talk a little bit about my hair, my lock journey, and how I came to this point and what made me decide to get locks, all those things, how I take care of them. So I figure I've had quite a bit of questions across multiple platforms about my hair, so I figured today would be a good day to do that. So I guess to start is to talk about how I got to choosing locks and why I decided to get them. I've always wanted them for as long as I can remember. When I was in grade school, there was this girl who had them, and I was absolutely obsessed with her. I think that's the first time that I really saw dreadlocks and whatever in real life, and I was like, I really like that. But I was too afraid to do it at the time, and there wasn't really much knowledge, and I didn't know what to research, I don't know, so I never got them. And then as I've gotten older, I had very short hair for a decade, like a pixie cut. And then I was slowly growing my hair out. I was doing a lot of different colors and a lot of damage, and during COVID I was doing crazy stuff to my hair. I always was a person that had to be constantly changing their hair. It was actually very exhausting and made me quite unhappy because I'd be happy when I changed it into a cool, vibrant color, and then as the weeks would go on, it just looked faded and bad, and I honestly just couldn't keep up with the price of it. So the first thing I did was I dyed my hair dark brown, and I believe I just kept a little blonde streak. So that was the most natural hair I've ever had in 15 years. So I rocked that for a while, and then I think my hair was about here long, not long at all, and my hair is very fine. I have a lot of hair, but it's very fine texture, so I could never get big buns or really do much of any type of a hairstyle other than wear it down or in two little pigtails, which I was getting extremely bored of. So I was doing research, and I came across a hairstylist that installed weft type hair extensions. I believe they were called invisible bead extensions. So essentially it's two long, actually I think I had 6 wefts at first. So 6 wefts, 3 sewed together and then 3 sewed together. And basically they just put little beads in your head around the crown and the back. I had 2, so I had 1 lower here and 1 up here because my hair was short and it had to blend. I colored my hair all black before the appointment, and I started on the extension journey, and I loved it for the time being, but it was extremely expensive, very high upkeep. I believe I did it for about 2 years, and my hair had grown quite a bit. So this is a picture of me with the extensions in, and I think at that point my natural hair was around here. Don't get me wrong, it was beautiful, stunning. I don't look at any picture when I had that hair and was oh, I hate it. I loved it. I truly loved it. I just couldn't keep up with the upkeep, really. So because you were charged by each row, once my hair was long enough, I took out the one row and just had 3 wefts closer to the middle of my head. And I was so used to having so much hair for years, to do styles and stuff like that. I didn't like just the 1 weft, and I was kind of looking online about ideas and such of how to thicken my hair or do different things with it. So I came across braid-in lock extensions, essentially, and I think the first set I got was just on Amazon, just to see if I liked them, and I just ordered them in black. They were synthetic, and I think they were to my belly button length. And so I would just braid them in the lower section of my hair underneath the weft. And I loved the look of them. This is a picture of me with just those in. So that's just half my head. I didn't have bangs at the time. They were just kind of growing into my hair essentially. And I had blonde ones that I'd put in and beads and all that kind of stuff. So I experimented with that for quite a while. But here's another picture with just the all black in. They were quite long. And I loved them. I loved the look of them. I didn't like having to wash the hair extension and then the dread extensions at the same time. Like, it was just a lot of washing and like a little bit hard to keep from tangling and stuff like that. So I rocked that for a while and I was like, you know what, I think I need to take a break from everything. And they were really annoying to like keep braiding in. Like, I think I would leave them for like 2 or 3 weeks and then they, you know, they get loose and stuff will get tangled and stuff, so you'd have to like take them all out, wash your hair. I wouldn't lose a lot of hair, but it gets trapped in like the braid essentially that you're putting around the dread. So I'd be brushing and like hair was coming out and I just didn't like the upkeep of them, but I loved the look. So I was kind of like in this weird, like, I don't know. I just didn't know what to do with my hair but I wasn't happy with it essentially. So I ended up taking everything out for a while and I just rocked my natural hair for quite a bit. And let me just find a picture. Okay. So my natural hair is very fine, as I was saying. This is a picture of my hair at my first lock appointment. And so that's with nothing in it. That's with no extensions, nothing. It was long. I believe it was like, you know, middle of my back type thing, but it was fine. So I didn't like it. So after a while of thinking about it, I decided to take the leap and just do a partial of dreadlocks at the back of my head. So basically just half my head, essentially. So I looked on Etsy for a really long time because I wanted to have my hair longer than it naturally is. So I was looking for like extension style, but in human hair. And I came across a brand on Etsy called The Dread Shop. And The Dread Shop was really, really awesome. I cannot recommend them enough. I've worked with them multiple times. And the first time I bought from them, I was not working for them. I just found them on Etsy. They had really, really great reviews. The style of the lock that I was looking for, they had. I really wanted like thinner locks, but not super thin. And human hair was really important. I really wanted human hair. And I really wanted the ends to be wispy. Like, I wanted them to have like, I didn't want it to be blunt. I wanted to have a nice like little wispy end essentially. So the ends, I guess, I don't know what they're exactly called, but I didn't like the ones that were had a lot of hair out of it and that were like curly and stuff. I wasn't into that, but I knew I wanted like that softer look with, you know, pretty like end on them. So I messaged the owner, whoever runs the shop, and I asked her like how much a bundle would be for like, I was kind of guesstimating like how many I needed for my head. So I think I ordered for the first time 25 16 millimeter, 8 millimeter thickness, black human hair dreads. And they're in Australia, so it took a little bit to come, which was fine. And during that time, I was just talking about what I wanted and stuff to my loctician now, who I go to and who I love. Her name is Karen, and she runs a company called Modlocks in Toronto, and she is great. I love her very, 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 very much. I'll put her handle up here. Give her a follow. If you're in the GTA, like, I truly can't recommend her enough. She's a beautiful human. I have great talks with her every time I go for maintenance and all the different installs I've had and stuff, and she's been super awesome. Love her, love her, love her. So can't recommend her enough. So we were discussing back and forth about what I wanted to do, and when the locks finally came in, I booked an appointment, and I went down there, and she did a partial set for me. I think I have a picture in here as well. So I found a picture from my first appointment for my partial set, and you can kind of see there the parting, and it's beautiful, so crisp. And the way she did the parting was kind of like on a semicircle type way, which I didn't realize there were so many things with parting and all that. But so the dreads lay like really nice on my head and nothing ever pulls, and I didn't want the sections to be too small because my hair is fine. I didn't want like the weight of the extension, you know what I mean, to pull, but truly they're perfect size, and I've had no issue upkeeping them. They don't get tangled, nothing. I love. She is great. So I feel like I rocked it for the partial set for about 2 or 3 months, and I loved the look of the partial. It was very beachy and like more hippie type vibe, which is cute. But the maintenance and upkeep of having the loose hair on top with the locks underneath was very difficult. Because my hair is very fine, she calls it like baby bird hair. Like it just like velcros together, like it's staticky, like it just didn't work well with the partial because I was constantly having to brush my hair. Like I would go outside, and if I'm doing an activity or whatever and the wind is blowing, I would come back home and it was like a mat on the back of my head. It was just like so tangly, and like the whole reason that I wanted to get locks was for the maintenance to not be a thing. I'm a pretty low maintenance human when it comes to beauty stuff. Like I'm wearing makeup and stuff today, but day to day I'm not a person that does a lot. That's why I think I've gotten to permanent makeup and face tattoos and all that, because I don't have to do anything. And I haven't gone anywhere to get my hair colored in years and years, so I just wanted to be able to not have to do really much of anything. So the partial locks were short-lived. I messaged her, I ordered more locks from the Dread shop, and once they came in, I went to Karen again, and she installed the rest of my head, and I have never been happier. It was a great decision. It's scary, you know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, very permanent or whatever, but even talking to her, she even says like she's had dreads multiple times in her life and, you know, brush them out and not brush them out. Like, it's possible to get them brushed out. Will I ever want to brush them out? Probably not. I'm the happiest with my hair I've ever been in my entire life. I love the black hair. I just love it. It's simple, and I don't have to think about it day to day. It's very, very low maintenance. You pretty much only have to go once a year, like every 6 months, for a root touch-up, and basically she just like brings all this, like see how I have like fuzz around the top of my head? She pretty much just brings all that back into the lock and just like tightens up like the regrowth. But other than that, the maintenance appointments are fast. The only large appointments were the actual install, because obviously she's locking my actual hair and putting the extension in and all that. Like, it is a lot of work. So they were 16 inches long, the original extensions, and I've always wanted super long, ridiculously long hair. So I did end up going with them a little bit longer, and I do really love the extra length. They're pretty much like past my butt type thing. So I love it. And you can definitely feel the weight of the locks, especially when you first get them. I was like, wow, this is like kind of heavy. Like the original appointment, the actual, like her putting them in didn't hurt. Truly. Near the end, I was kind of like, yeah, because she's kind of like not pulling your head, but like, you know, because your head's in a weird position for a while because she's doing this side and then you're doing this side. But like my scalp didn't really hurt. Like she's quite gentle for like as gentle you can be for putting them in. Like I've heard horror stories where people are like crying and stuff during their lock appointments, and that is like not a thing with Karen. She's very great. But I did notice the weight of them, and especially because when you first get them, they're very stiff. Like they're very like, because they're just like rigid hair extensions. And she does the crochet method as well, which is how I believe that the Dread shop also makes their extensions. So I did notice a slight weight on my head when I first got them, but that went away quite quickly. And once they were able to soften, I was able to do more hairstyles and different things like that. And the only way that you can get them to kind of soften and be more moldable is just by washing them and oiling them occasionally, and basically wearing your hair into like crumpling up the extension and like wearing them in buns and stuff like that. Like you want to try and mold them essentially to not be so straight. So I've had them for a long time now. They're very into my head and they're not going anywhere, and they're definitely very, very moldable. I can do whatever hairstyle now. So next I'm going to talk about upkeep and what I just do day to day for styling or maintenance or whatever, and washing. So what is always recommended for washing locks is a residue-free shampoo. It's very important, so then it doesn't leave anything inside your locks, like fragrance and whatever, like whatever can get caught in your locks and make them not clean in the long run. So this one is actually from the Dread Shop. They have sent me a few bottles in the past, and I think this is my second or third bottle. And I really, really do like this one. It smells really good. Your hair feels like squeaky clean, like clean, clean, clean. And I really like it, and it lathers nice. This one has lavender and rosemary oils, and I've never had dandruff from this or anything like that. I love it. But there's also options on Amazon. There's a few like clarifying shampoos that I do use on occasion just to make sure your scalp is really, really clean. I also use a scalp scrubber, like one of those silicone brushes, and I will lather everything up. You don't really have to go down the lock too much because what's normally dirty is your scalp, right? So I wash them about once a week, which I know it's like a huge thing. It's like if you have locks, you don't wash your hair or something. It's not a thing. We definitely wash our hair. There might be some people that don't wash their hair who have them, but there's also regular people with regular hair that don't wash their hair. So to each their own. I wash my hair once a week, and I wash my bangs every day. Every day I wash my bangs. So I basically just lather up. I kind of make sure it's all in all the different layers of my locks and all over my scalp, and I really like scratch to like make sure it's in, and then I use a silicone scrubber brush and just kind of like massage my head and make sure it's like getting anything off my scalp. I use them as well like when I had regular hair, and I really do recommend, and it feels good and it really gets in there. And I usually shampoo 3 times, but that's just me. Especially if I've maybe gone a little bit over a week, I always do 2, but sometimes I do 3 shampoos. And I just concentrate on the scalp. And I wash my bangs like regular, and I wash the ends because I do like straighten them sometimes and they get a little dry. So I don't know, I just kind of put them on the ends, and if some soap runs down the dreads, that's fine. Once in a while I will wash the full lock, but you really don't have to do that as often as you'd think because most of the oils and all that are on your scalp. So, and very important, do not use conditioner ever, 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 ever on locks. It is not good. It's just not good. And usually they all have residue. The only time I ever use conditioner is on the loose ends if they feel like a little dry, which they often don't because I use oils, which I'll talk about in a minute. So next are some products that I use all the time. You don't need a lot of products at all for locks. And when my hair is feeling a little bit dry or frizzy or whatever, I do use this spray. It's from Amazon. It's the Lock Sanity brand, and it's rose water and peppermint, and it's just a daily moisturizing spray. I'm pretty much almost out of this. It's lasted me a really long time. So I just like spray it down the length of my lock and kind of just let it sit there, and then I just kind of rub it in. I spray it on my scalp too. It feels nice. It's like minty and fresh, and it's really, really nice. So you can use that during the week whenever. Like you can never overuse it, kind of a thing. And then day to day, because it does get a little frizzy on the crown. I can't deny, you just have to live with it. That's like part of the locks. Like they'll always have a little bit of fuzz on top, which is fine. I really don't mind day to day. But sometimes if I kind of want to like go out or look extra presentable, I don't know, I just use aloe vera. Like I think this was $7 at the drugstore, and it's just the fragrance free aloe vera, and it's the clear one. And I essentially just pump it on my hands and just kind of palm roll it maybe a little bit into the top. I don't palm roll too often, but when I'm trying to get those loose hairs in, it's a good little method, at least for like a couple days. Sometimes I put a bandana over top while I'm getting ready or like doing my makeup, and it just presses them all down and, you know, keeps them tame for a night or two. So this is very, very great. Do like it, very cheap, love it. There's also, from the Dread Shop again, this is a light lock tightening spray, which I love. It is sea salt and lime and aloe vera. It smells really, really good. It kind of smells like, I don't know, like a slushy or something. It's very nice. So essentially I just spray this. I kind of lift up my locks and spray it all at my root area. Because it has that grittiness, it helps that doesn't feel gritty, but it really helps just tighten the loose hairs into your lock from your scalp, which I love. And it smells really good, and it makes my scalp feel good, and love it. Sometimes I just spray it down the lock too because it smells good, and I'm just like, whatever, can't be too harmful. And also the only thing that I use for oil when my hair is feeling dry or like I've been outside a lot is another one from the Dread Shop. It's the Vitality Face, Scalp, and Hair Oil. And this one has watermelon, apricot, grapeseed, pumpkin, jojoba, and rosehip. It's very nice. It smells very good. I'm almost out of it, so I'm gonna have to get more. And I just put a bunch in my hand and kind of just run it through my locks. Put it on my scalp because you do want to still create circulation on your scalp and all that. So I kind of just massage the oil, and I usually do it before bed. And I sleep with a silk bonnet at night, most nights. If I'm too lazy, I don't. But I had to find one that was extra, extra long, and it's just like silk. And it does help with lint. Lint is another issue that you can get with locks. It's quite annoying. You can definitely see it because my hair is black. So, and I pretty much only wear like white and gray and black, but you can see the little lints, and I have a dog as well, so sometimes I'll be like, oh, an Arwen hair is just like lodged into one of my locks. But that's another thing with locks, you can pick them out. Half the time I don't. If I'm coloring my roots and I see like a chunk, I kind of just like put color over it sometimes. It doesn't really matter. So I'm not too picky about it. Other people are. I don't really care. I think for me, locks have been the best decision I've ever done regarding my hair. It's been very fun. I have a good hair day every day. I wake up and it looks the same. I don't have to worry about it. All I do for maintenance is cutting my bangs and then seeing Karen once a year to do the root maintenance. So it's really, really nice. Sometimes if I see like quite a bit of hair coming out, I will take a single needle crochet hook and kind of crochet it back in. There's tons of tutorials everywhere for it. I would never do a whole thing on myself. It's just sometimes on the top, like in between maintenance, I'm just like, oh, that looks a little fuzzy, or like there's a loop coming out or whatever. I'll just like put it back in. But other than that, I really don't touch them. If I'm feeling like palm rolling them, I do. I really don't do much of it. The only thing you have to do, not often, but every few days, I kind of just make sure they're separated, because they can grow together. If there's loose hairs on one and loose hairs on the other, they kind of get tangled into each other. So I kind of just, separate them, go through them with my fingers. I don't really get that issue much, but I've seen people have like 3 dreads dread into one or whatever, and that's just from not separating the hair. They'll eventually just form as one. So, but yeah, overall, greatest thing I've ever done. Just do your research if you're going to somebody to get them done. There's definitely a right way and a wrong way. Parting is essential because it's made a huge difference when I wear my hair up. It's all parted so prettily on the side. It's just like in a nice shape to my head. It feels good when I have it up. It's not pulling on my hair, my scalp, or anything. And if they're not, sectioned correctly for your head, it could cause some issues. So just research where you're going. Make sure you're using a residue-free shampoo. And if you want to get like extensions, I do recommend the Dread Shop. They're great. They're from Australia, and they're very responsive on Etsy. I have them on Instagram as well, and we talk back and forth if I need anything or if we want to work together or whatever. So they are great. Highly recommend them. I will put, again, both the links here. I'll just put their Instagrams, so the Dread Shop and modlocks, Karen, who does my locks. So if anybody has any other questions, I know locks are kind of a weird topic, but if anybody has any questions and wants to ask down below, I definitely will answer, or I'll make a follow-up video or whatever. But I think I pretty much touched on everything, and if I think of anything else, then I'll make a second video. Maybe I'll take you guys along next time I go to one of my maintenance appointments. I believe it's in September, so quite a ways from now, but yeah, I think I will take you along, so look forward to that. And thank you for being here again. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. My main is Pixie Queen, and my second account is Pixie Queen 666. I will leave here as always. Please subscribe. I'm on the road to 1,000, and it would mean so much to me. It will make such a large difference in my life. I want to make YouTube a thing where I could career off of it, and it just opens so many more opportunities for me. So I really appreciate it. Thank you for today. I hope you have a rad day, and we'll see you next week.